Did you sleep with a buddy of his?
I was trying to push him away. I mean, after the buddy was letting me know that he's out here gambling away our life again. In my mind, I said, this is it. This is the last time.
She's the judge who gives rules on the law and life. She's intense with common sense. She's Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court, where real couples deal with real life. 34-year-old Shawnta met her 41-year-old husband Matthew by chance in a bar. They rolled the dice and married 3 weeks later. But now, after 9 years of marriage, Shawnta says their gamble on love is over.
He has ruined me financially. I even cheated on him to try to push him away, but he still hasn't gotten a hint. So I'm here today to let him know I'm done.
I'm here today to get a divorce, even though I don't want this divorce, and show my wife that I love her.
Shawnta says she's done with Matthew's gambling and stealing. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the case of Shawnta Wilson versus Matthew Wilson. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, you two have been married for 9 years. You have 2 children together, and Mr. Wilson, you adopted Mrs. Wilson's child from a previous relationship. You now, however, want to end your marriage, and Mrs. Wilson, you are seeking $3,000 from your husband for what you say is the amount that you are owed from an income tax return that he inappropriately took from you. And I will get all the information with respect to that income tax return later. However, before we do that, I'm going to ask you, Mrs. Wilson, to tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today.
Well, Your Honor, I want a divorce from this man over here because he has ruined my life financially. He is a gambleaholic. He's gambled away. We were living the American dream, and he's gambled away our entire financial sustenance. I mean, he went to Florida just recently because he was supposed to be gathering up money in order for us to move from Ohio to Florida.
Right.
Well, he hadn't saved any money, and he was texting his friend, asking him, where's the casino here, the casino there? So he's taking all his money that he earned while he was out, and I was home holding it down. He's taking all his money and just gambling it all away. And that's not all. I mean, there was another time that he has stolen money. I was pregnant with our now 8-year-old.
Right.
He stole money out of the mailbox from a previous tenant and took that money, cashed it in, bought our child to be a gift for the pregnancy. And that money, of course, was a joint account, a joint savings account. So they called both of us in. I could have went to jail. I'm a registered nurse. And he almost ended up sending both of us to jail because he took that money and cashed it.
Mr. Wilson, now she's drawn a picture of a embezzling gambler.
You know what? She has a point with, my biggest problem was gambling. Yes, I am. I admit that I'm a gambler. I was always a gambler. But as our marriage has gone...
Are you a gambler, or do you have a gambling problem?
I have a gambling problem.
Okay.
I do admit to that. But what she is trying to point as, I'm stealing all this money. Yes, I took a check, and you know what? I did not think it's through. I was not thinking right. You know, I have money, and I'm talking to her right now. Wait, I will finish.
He did not interrupt you. You will not interrupt him, sir.
But when it comes to the money issues, yes, I admitted, and she knew I was gambling. Matter of fact, our first date, I took her out to a fancy restaurant on money that I won at the casino. The next day,
I thought he had money in the bank.
Mrs. Wilson?
I took her, I got her a brand new leather jacket. She knew where I was getting this money from. She knew I went to the casino. I like casino.
I even talked to her about
Mrs. Wilson, one more time and you will be seated.
I talked to her about playing cards. I love playing poker. I'm a Texas Hold'em lover. But
did you ever say to her, I think I have a little problem with this, or did she ever say to you?
She has said that, yes.
I think you do this too much.
And as like everybody knows, you deal with like...
Mrs. Wilson, have a seat.
As you're like, you know, when you deal with an alcoholic, it's the same thing with a gambler. It's not something that I could shut right off overnight. But as our time in our marriage has gone, I have lessened and lessened and lessened all my casino runs. The last time I've been there is months and months ago. But yes, I did go. Unfortunately, she had an affair with the 4 months that I spent down in Florida trying to get her and my kids down there. She worries about money being sent home.
She had
all this money,
when?
all this money from.
She had an affair when?
When I was in Florida, trying to move us down there. But she took she says, here's what she makes the excuses. It was a challenge, man, because he said it will never happen. She took it as a challenge.
Did you sleep with a buddy of his?
I was trying to push him away. I mean, after the buddy was letting me know that he's out here gambling away our life again. Because this was like, in my mind, I said, this is it. This is the last time. So I told myself, I'm going to see what Matthew does. Matthew didn't do good. So I told myself, you know what? This is going to be it. And if I sleep with one of his buddies, then he will be done with me. Matthew will not want me, but it didn't work. So,
Mrs. Wilson, I will say this to you. It never ceases to amaze me the extent to which people will not take personal responsibility for what happens in their lives. You want to cut him short, cut him loose, say, hey, baby, goodbye. You don't need him to do it for you.
But
that doesn't make any sense.
Your Honor, he won't go away.
When divorce court continues, is this marriage bankrupting Shawnta?
He bid on a vehicle, won the bid. Who paid for that vehicle? I had to file bankruptcy twice, Your Honor, twice in my life.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com and become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court is back with the case of Shawnta Wilson, who is divorcing her husband because she claims he steals her money and gambles it away. But does Shawnta have some explaining of her own to do?
She just got a chunk of money from the mortgage company, $23,000. You know what she did? Instead of trying to save the house, she goes and gets a boob and tummy tuck.
He won't keep a job. Okay, there was this one time, he lies about it. There was this one time he told me that he was going to work. He hated the job, but he was going to work. So he calls me and tells me how the day is going, and I call his job because I'm a little suspicious, and I find out that he told the job he got hit in a parking lot by a car while he was riding his bike to work, and so I call him back. No, he calls me back. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be getting off early today. And you know what? Matter of fact, I'm not going to have to go to work on Monday either. Well, he just got finished telling his job.
Yes,
he got hit by a car.
Well,
and then
I did do that. And you know what?
Maybe
it was a response to, you see how she's getting riled up. I don't want her to get riled up. When I did, and I did the lie, but I did do the lie. I admitted through my marriage, I lied about my money. That was my fault. But she also took me to the doctors, the psychologist, and got me. Yeah, I did. I lied about a bunch of things in my life. I did, especially when it came to money and jobs.
I'm losing my house because of it.
No.
My car.
The house thing, she's taking that all and blaming it on me, but it's not all my fault. It's our house.
It's not our money.
Mr. Wilson, I hear what you're saying, but the story that you're telling me is not necessarily a man simply with a gambling problem.
And I got diagnosed with ADD.
You have a sick relationship with money all the way around.
And part of it was that's why we went to a psychologist and I got diagnosed with ADD. The problem is the medicine that I got put on for ADD, you can't have a CDL. You cannot drive a 18-wheeler with it because that is considered a some kind of
mind-altering substance, and you can't do it.
Exactly, you can't do that. Plus, it made me sick. So what I do now,
you let the man finish the sentence.
What I do now is, and she should even openly admit on this, is in the last few years, I have kept my job. I did make my bills, but I did do this. Okay, I got an $80 phone bill. Well, I'll set that to the side just to take the kids out for a thing. And then I totally forget about paying it and then also I get a notice you're going to get disconnected. Then that's when she gets all mad and says, why didn't you pay it when it came in? But you sure as heck enjoyed going to dinner and having that new outfit.
Mr. Watson, let me say this. You know you have a problem with money.
Yes, I do.
You know you don't spend it well. You know you don't. Ow, I'm talking. You tell that ADD to cool itself out till I'm finished. You have to take that into account when you structure your life. If you are a person who you know won't do the right thing with a dollar, you put the dollar where she is,
And I
so
have
she
offered to
can
do that. I said, if when I get,
Your
because I
Honor.
don't have a job right now,
Honor.
because when I came back from Florida, I came back and I wanted to resolve it. I even told her I loved her and I wanted to get this resolved.
Yeah,
I
but
even
we've tried
offered her,
that
I will
before.
give you my full
We've
check.
done
When I
that,
get my
though.
jobs, I will give you my
He
full
still
check.
steals my
You
money.
deal with the bills. All you got to do
He
is
still
give me
steals my
enough
money.
for gas.
Gas, and that's all
it.
you need. 'Cause
That's
you
all
will
I
do wrong
need.
with
That's
the rest
all
of
I
it.
need.
Ms. Wilson, why don't you respond to what he's talking
We
about?
tried the different routines, the different kinds of ways to make our relationship work.
Sure.
He still goes and does something stupid, rather stealing my money or taking some DVDs and pawning them off. And he has problems. He went on eBay and acquired a bid on a vehicle. He had no money. He bid on a vehicle, won the bid. Who paid for that vehicle? I had to file bankruptcy twice, Your Honor, twice in my life. I'm a registered nurse. I made good money.
But that's
I
not
bring
all
it
my
home.
fault. She's
Hang
putting
on.
it all as my fault. Yes, I did bid on the car, and you know what? That was my mistake because I didn't think I was going to win that car anyways. But I didn't.
Why would you bid on
But
it?
I know it was stupid.
When divorce court continues, Matthew's ADD strikes a nerve with Judge Lynn.
Mr. Wilson, you do not interrupt me,
Yes,
ever.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter @divorcecourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Matthew Wilson, who claims his wife's extramarital affairs ruined their marriage. But will Matthew be forced to pay back $3,000 Shawnta says he stole from her?
He forged my signature
Right.
and cashed it. And so 3 days later, as he's spending money on me and the kids, I'm up here thinking, oh, this is so sweet. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, it dawns on me, wait a minute.
Your problem isn't necessarily money, it's decision-making capacity.
It is, and that is why we went to a psychologist so she can explain this in more detail, because she gets all riled up. She gets very riled up,
not
and then
doing
when
his
she
driving
gets
job now.
all
He's
mad
not
like
working
this,
at all now. Is he taking
I
medicine?
tone her out.
Is he
I literally
working?
shut down, and
Can you understand
she'll
her-
follow me from one room to the other. You
I
do
stopped
that with
doing
me.
that. I stopped doing that. As soon as we
But-
talk to the
but she'll do-
psychologist,
Hey,
But when she does do that, I tone her out, and I will tone her out.
It seems that you stopped that because you figured out it wasn't getting you
Well,
anywhere. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. When we went to the psychologist and they told me, they said, no, don't do that. I listened. I took in everything that the
Well, what
psychologist
did the
said.
psychologist tell you to do?
She told me, go. If that's what, she said, I know you, Shawnta. You're a strong woman. You're hardworking. I know the type of person you are because we were with her for 2 years. She said, you know what? If that is what making you turn into this, leave.
She's on some sugar daddy website to
Because
find
I'm
herself a rich
done.
man.
Yes,
all right?
Your Honor,
And then
because I'm
all
done
she
with
keeps
him.
talking
I'm
about is,
looking for
I'm going to
somebody
get myself
that's
a
already
millionaire.
made.
I'm
He's like,
It's a millionaire. She
No.
wants someone who is filthy
You know what?
rich.
Well, I'm kind of old.
Which I
now.
understand that.
Everybody wants to marry somebody.
Exactly.
Male or
Thank you.
female.
Exactly.
You can't get mad about that.
Yes.
But you know what it comes down
stop.
to?
No, stop. I want everybody to stop. Mr. Wilson, my question to you is this. You don't want to get divorced, do you? Because she's filed
No, you know what?
already.
Because,
Mr. Wilson,
it's love.
Mr. Wilson, you do not interrupt me,
Yes,
ever.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
When divorce court continues, does Matthew make this an open and shut case for Judge Lynn?
So you did do it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Divorce court returns with the case of Shawnta Wilson and Matthew Wilson, who are bowing out of their 9-year marriage.
I had him be a stay-at-home father, Your Honor. I was paying him $200 a week in allowance, saying, you stay at home with the kids,
Right.
I'll hold it down. That wasn't good enough. He
But she
said,
sure
well,
as
I'm
heck
going
liking me. I'm
bonkers.
cleaning. I'm doing. And while
He
I'm
said I
not,
was
I'm not
going
sitting
bonkers.
around.
Well, why
I'm
didn't
not
that
sitting
work
around.
out for you? Why didn't the stay-at-home dad thing work out for you? What was?
I got anxious, and this is prior to the ADD diagnosis. It was
so you
prior
were
to
having
that.
difficulty maintaining within
I was
that
like,
environment.
I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more. I'm a person who's constantly going and going and going.
Well, if you were to be a stay-at-home dad and you would get medicated for the ADD, would the stay-at-home dad thing work a little better for you?
Most likely, yes.
Most
Is
likely.
that something that you
Not yet.
try to put out there?
But I also feel that I should contribute. That's just my way. I mean, yes, I have made my mistakes with it.
But you can't. So you got to do what you can do instead of still beating her on the head with what you can't. What was the final straw for you, Mrs. Wilson? What made you file this petition for divorce?
My final straw, Your Honor, was when I got the notice saying that my house was going into foreclosure and being taken away from me.
Were they his acts that put you into that position?
Yes.
You know what? Here's the funny thing. She just got a chunk of money from the mortgage company, $23,000. You know what she did? Instead of trying to save the house with that money, she goes and gets a boob and tummy tuck.
Yes, Your Honor, because I'm done. I mean,
Come on.
he takes that money, he gives
that's
it
my
to the
fault?
casinos. We can't see any of that. I can see this. And plus, what else I did with that money
She
is
sure
I
as heck
gave
liked
it,
the stuff that I got. Paid off the cars with
brand
my
new
casinos.
clothes for my children instead of getting them from the secondhand store.
But wouldn't you think the best thing for your children would be was to maintain residence in the house in which they live?
I'm done with that house.
That's
I'm
the
done with
thing.
that house. I want to move to Florida.
Tell me about the $3,000 you're seeking from me.
The $3,000, Your Honor, is I got I filed for an injured spouse claim, which is through the taxes, which simply separates his debt from my debt. So 2008, they took.
So you obviously had unpaid obligations that the IRS was holding back money for. Is that accurate?
For rearage on child support.
and
Okay.
back taxes.
And back taxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So that money that was mine, because I always claimed zero, that they sent to his debt, I went ahead and filed for. So I filed for that. It came in the mail. He intercepted it. He forged my signature and cashed it. And so 3 days later, as he's spending money on me and the kids, I'm up here thinking, oh, this is so sweet. And then 3 o'clock in the morning, it dawns on me, wait a minute.
Where'd you
He
get
got
it
my
from?
check. Exactly. So I went downstairs while he's sleeping on the couch, and I said, did you steal my money? And he was like, what are you talking about? My money,
No,
my
that's a
check.
lie.
Did you take my money? Yes. So he shows me how much was left. I said, give me all my money. Of course, he spent a lot of it at the casinos. So the $3,000 I'm suing for is for that. And I have proof that he forged my signature because I have my ID with me to show that that is not my signature, Your Honor.
Out of spite,
No.
I did this.
No,
out of spite, because
out of
I found
spite.
out.
Okay, now
So
we're
you
still
did do it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love your honesty, Mr. Wilson. I do.
Ticked me off
Yeah, you
enough
can
that
give that
I
back to
said,
her. He admitted it.
I said, I'm going to go and spend this money because you went and got this $23,000. You go and
Okay,
get a
I
boob
got
job
it.
and that stuff.
I got it.
And she bought
I'm
2
done.
cars.
I'm done,
too.
Mr. Wilson. I'm done, Mr. Wilson. Let me tell you something. You got a lot of nerve being ticked off about anything behind all the stuff that you did to her over the years.
Yes.
She may have made a bad call with all of this situation here, but she was frustrated. She was angry, and you have put her in one jackpot after another. She spent all her time pulling you out of all the stuff that you have done. It is a tiring and difficult thing. And not only did you take her money, it's not just a financial thing. You took her security. And yes, she did make some bad financial decisions, but you got a lot of nerve saying anything to her about her. Having said that, I will say this, at no time, you do have the right to forge somebody else's name and take their money. It's illegal. It's crime. At no time can you steal money. Problem or no problem. $3,000 in favor of Mrs. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It is so ordered.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
I admitted my wrong.
And that's money for our children.
I admitted I was wrong. I apologized.
But apology doesn't put
I know.
food on the table, does not put clothes
You're
on our
right.
children's
You're right.
backs.
You're right.
So.
You're right. I'm not here to argue with you. I told you I loved you. I wanted to make this
And you
work,
know
and
I
I was
love you. I
willing to.
want us to be able to be friends, but we're not going to be able to be in a marriage.
That's not the way I see it.
But that's
That's
the
not
way
the way
it
I
has
say
to
it.
be.
All right.
And you have to accept that and move on.
Yeah.
But you know I still love you because you're the
No, you
father of
don't.
my children.
That's not love. That's not love. I feel like I'm just your kid's daddy. That's all I feel like.
You're not just my kid's daddy.
No,
we have to raise them as a family. You're still a good friend. You're a great boyfriend.
Whatever.
Well, you're a great boyfriend because you'll
Whatever.
spend all your money on me, but you won't have any lights on in the house.
Well, when you find that rich man.